I am so glad you are here. This is Liz at Magis Books. Really looking forward to the whole show today. I've got some books to talk about. I've got some wonderful stuff going on here at the shop. I want to let you know, just a reminder again, that Fred Souls, our favorite incense here at the store, has discontinued 4 flavors. One was fireplace pine, and we are completely out, and so are they. One is spiritual sage. I literally have 1 pack left, and we're burning the samples today at the store. Sage and cedar is also going, and this is what we have left, and we could not get more of either of those. And the last one that's being discontinued is this one. It's the Happy Hemp. Was able to pick up a few packs, so we've got like a rack full, but you'll find all of these up at the front counter because they're gone when these run out, basically, sadly. But I thought I would have some fun today with what some of my favorite books are in different departments in the shop, the ones I think are good intro books. Like if you just want to get into a subject, what should you grab? But first, what are we wearing? Well, I've got this beautiful necklace. This is a piece of reclaimed jewelry that has been put together by Chris Wilson, who is also responsible for the paintings that you see behind me. She does amazing moons. And that painting in the middle, it begs for a children's book to be written about it. It's just fantastic and would be perfect in a nursery or a kids area. It's just so cute. And the other two are much more ethereal. They're much more universally themed, not so much kid themed, but more for all of the rest of us. And I love them. You can't see the two that I can see in front of me because we've sold out of half the paintings on that wall. So it's a little sad, that wall right now. So unless you're going to come and grab those paintings, but there's a great one with a cowboy, and there's another one that's centered on a willow that's got the sun shining through it. It's absolutely delightful. But what are we wearing for besides Chris's work? I've got Tracy's treasures on my hands today. So I've got this beautiful abalone ring. This one is probably a size 8 or 9 because it fits this finger for me. And if you're going to choose your jewelry intentionally, abalone, it comes from a seashell. And we, in fact, sold the shells. You might have picked one up here or somewhere else. People will use it if they are smoking something or smudging something as a good space to put down the bundle of herbs they might be burning. It's beautiful for that. There are also lion's paw shells for that, by the way. But abalone shell, because it does come from the sea, it's been associated with calm, peace, and also intuition, that diving down into the depths to see what you can truly see. On this hand, I've got a cute little pentacle from Tracy. It's adorable. Probably a size 5 because it fits on the pinky. This is a ruby zoisite ruby stone, just so you can take a really good look at that one. This is a stone of love and loyalty, of compassion. So it just reminds you to be heart forward in how you treat the people that you encounter every day. And then finally, this one is this beautiful, almost clear, but sort of deeper, darker amethyst. I just love the exact shade it is, because I can definitely see my finger through it. So it's almost clear, but it's not. And the color is a little dark for an amethyst. So it has a mystery to it. And of course, amethyst is famous as a sobriety stone, as a way of upgrading your energies, energizing higher chakras, connecting with spirituality a little better. So there's tons of reasons to use amethyst, but those are some of my faves. And also, what are we drinking? Today I have Eleuthero, because I find, for me personally, it to be a little energizing. Foti, which I also enjoy for similar reasons, and ashwagandha, which I also like, but only in the beginning part of the day. I've also got a little bit of, oh gosh, what else did I put in here? I know I'm missing a thing or two I put in here. I might have put in some bacopa. You never know. But cheers. Now I'm having a little bit of a sweet tooth today, so I did put some chocolate mix in. Some like hot cocoa mix we've got in the back for the staff. So to get to some of the wonderful books that I find that I turn to frequently or have really enjoyed reading, If you're looking to get into tarot and you really want to engage your intuition in that process, which is the ultimate goal for most folks who are looking at tarot, I would really recommend our very own Nancy Antonucci's Psychic Tarot. It's a great book. She wrote it with Melanie Howard, but it's a fantastic book that takes you through some of the processes you can use to attune yourself to the cards that you're reading and really get the most you can out of a reading using the cards as a doorway to your intuition, not just as a rote memorized piece. We all start with getting the cards down and getting their meanings down. And I talked about that on the numerology short I did earlier this week. So if you want a hint to help you memorize card meanings, go check out that numerology one that I did on Tuesday, I believe, or it's being released soon, one of the two. But this is a fantastic intro to not just reading tarot, but reading tarot well. So I really recommend it. Nancy Antonucci. And if you're curious and you want to meet the author, she does do a class here on the third Sunday of the month at 3:30. This is a by donation class, so come and pay what you can. She even has loaner decks for people to use while they're in the class itself. So even if you're not at the point where you've chosen your own deck yet, or if you're waiting maybe for a gift to come to you that's a deck, you can still come and check out the class and still do the tarot exercises she will take you through for that 2 hour or so period. Like I said, it's by donation. Second Sunday of the month. Let's be clear. It's 2 second Sunday of the month at 3:30. So that's coming up on the 15th. So that is this coming Sunday as I'm broadcasting live right now. So you can meet Nancy Antonucci and really get to know your tarot deck or borrow one from her and get to know tarot generally. It's not a dry lecture. It's a bunch of exercises to help you really engage with your own deck. It's a great class. It's always full. Come early, grab your seat. Is all I can say about that one. One of my favorites of all the books that have come in recently that we've done an event for is this one by Renee Valois called Collecting Spirits, Life with Ghosts, Guardians, and Guides. And she really takes you through the differences, how to identify what you're dealing with if you feel like there's a presence somewhere at your home, in your work, figure out what it is, what its intentions are, and then maybe even what to do with that information and how you can welcome or even get rid of an entity depending on how it relates with you. This book is also chock full of personal experiences and stories, so I find it inspiring and informative. So if you're getting into ghosts, hauntings, or being forced into dealing with ghosts and hauntings, I really recommend this book. We do have another one by Von Brashler, also definitely worth a read, but I happened to grab Collecting Spirits today. And I love that one for ghosts and ghost stories. I know when Renee was here doing the live with me, which was a few weeks ago, so if you backtrack, you can find it. We talked about our childhood ghost experiences, our personal experiences, the earliest experiences that I had with ghosts, because she loves to collect those stories, as well as some of her own experiences. So check out that former live. We've reposted it, of course, so you can find it online, Facebook and YouTube. My favorite, if you're just getting into divination, you haven't even picked your tarot deck yet, hands down, Lon Milo Duquette, and I've got another one of his books here from another section of the store. One of my faves, if you're just trying to get into it, or maybe you've tried a few things and nothing's quite clicked for you, grab his book. 1, great personal stories. 2, fabulous sense of humor, carries right through this book. 3, he takes you through lots of options, some of which you already have in your house, even if you've never done any divination before in your life. So he does go through things like tarot, and that's nice, but he also does dice. And who doesn't have an old game laying around that's got some dice in it? He goes through popsicle stick divination, all kinds of fun ways you can bring divination into your life without needing to necessarily go out and get equipment to do it. I will even point out that the book itself is an oracle, because you'll notice there's this dark spot here on the edge of the pages. Well, that is so that you can flip through and find a divinatory meaning. Please return to your seat, or on the other side, the seatbelt signs are lit. So fabulous stuff in here. Everything from, don't count your money during the game to show some cards and let this matter drop. Good advice sometimes, right? So the book is fun and it's an oracle in and of itself. So totally think this one's worth it. And speaking of those other books I said I had, by Lon Duquette, hands down my absolute favorite book. If you've never looked at Kabbalah and you want to get into Kabbalah or you're curious about it, The Chicken Kabbalah. It's fantastic. This is the one introductory book that if I want like my magical students to learn something about Kabbalah, and I often do midway through their training, this is the book I insist they read. They are welcome to get hooked and read Kaplan and all of those others, some great authors out there who've written wonderful books on Kabbalah. But this is where I ask people to start because it's succinct and it's clear and you will grasp what's going on quickly with this one. It's a quick read, but it's thorough and it's good. And just in case you want more when he's done, The Son of Chicken Kabbalah. So another good one to grab. Some of my favorite books. Beyond that, you can start getting more specific. Like there are now books about queering the Kabbalah. There are books about Celtic spirituality being applied to Kabbalah. It really has become something that's, as a symbol set, oh, somebody's trying to reach us, as a symbol set that, hang on, sorry. On the live, can't answer. Yeah. Well, hopefully they get that. So when it comes to the Duquette books on Kabbalah, like I said, there's all kinds of ways you can specialize now beyond just general knowledge. It really is a set of symbols that while it comes from Judaism and is incredibly important and sacred there, it is also becoming a set of universal symbols, much like the chakras did at one point. Whereas at one point chakras were from India. They were influenced by two major religions, and that was it. And that was where you heard about them. And now they're almost ubiquitous. They're part of Reiki, for example, which is a Japanese practice. But around here, people talk about chakras within Reiki all the time. It's almost a constant. That seems to be happening right now with Kabbalah and the basic symbols used in Kabbalah. You can get more complicated just as you can with chakras. You can get far more complicated than the basic 7 and all of the basic information, the associations, the colors, the meanings, all of those things. And that's great. But Kabbalah is becoming the same thing. And the rudimentary symbolism of Kabbalah is just increasingly entering just general life, which is kind of interesting and cool. I do have an absolute favorite book that I always recommend for somebody looking for their first book in Wicca or witchcraft or paganism generally, because it's written by somebody local who trained locally, and you're really getting a snapshot of what training was like at the time this author was in the Twin Cities. They're not here in the Twin Cities anymore. They live in a distant state now. Still a delightful human being, but it's Thea Sabine and Witchcraft for Beginners. One of my all-time favorite books on the subject. It definitely reflects both the fact that Thea Sabine understands how education works, so she understands how to talk to you, and she also really gets the basics out for you. So whether you are going to be looking for a group or if you're going to be practicing on your own, this book covers all the bases and really gets you started. It's a beautiful book. I highly recommend it. Fantastic. One of my favorites for Wicca. It does help that I went to college with that particular author. Hi, Thea. And the last recommendation I thought I'd grab and make sure I mentioned was Tismal Crow's CD. This is his posthumous CD. They didn't complete the production until after his passing. But Tismal Crow was a Native American or indigenous Minnesota herbalist. He did a lot of volunteer work, a lot of great things. Now, there was some negative scuttlebutt about him in a few years after he died, but the family got right on it, and there was lots of testimony saying none of that was true. It was all bunk. And then they started talking about his volunteer work, what he did with the government, how he got things rolling with a lot of indigenous information about health and healing, and how he was very respectful about what needed to stay within the lodges, what needed to stay within the traditional practices and could not be shared with everybody else in the world, and with what could be shared. So this is a CD. Yep, it's a CD. You got to have a CD player for this one. Sorry. With 13 tracks on it, and in the 13 tracks are 13 different herbs. So he's going to give you stories and uses and practical knowledge on things like Monarda fistulosa, which has a variety of common names. Most often here in Minneapolis, I hear Monarda for it. Bloodroot is in here, which is a fantastic herb. Calamus, Echinacea, false Solomon seal, which isn't one that gets a lot of attention in herb books, but is an invaluable herb and is local to our area. Sassafras is in here, St. John's wort, Solomon seal, sweet fern, which is the Comptonia, tansy, tulip tree, violet, and wintergreen. So definitely a CD worth picking up. Lots of great knowledge. I saw it listed on Amazon for $2,000, and I put up, since we acquired a box of these recently, I put up one for $30 for $29.95 or $29.99 because that's what we're retailing them for. And of course, most of that money goes back to the folks who went to the effort of making this CD. So show them you value that herbal knowledge, show them you value traditions, and pick up the CD if you're at all interested in herbs. It's a really good listen. I have owned a copy myself for years because we bought a box off of them years ago, and I still value it to this day. I find it helpful and useful even today. So I know I mentioned Nancy Antonucci's class coming up this Sunday at 3:30 as a by donation class. We have a few other classes like that that are all about different forms of divination. So on the last Sunday of the month will be palmistry at 4 p.m. And I think on the third Sunday of the month at 3, we'll be doing some astrology. The astrology is with Adam Walter, wonderful astrologer. You can also find him here behind the counter a couple days a week. And the palmistry class on the last Sunday of the month at 4 is by Chris Stock. He is an amazing palmist. Each of these gentlemen have incredibly in-depth knowledge about their subject matter. They are totally worth coming to see and hear what they have to say about their subject matters. And Chris is not going to be able to resist giving you a palm reading as part of the class anyway. So come down, enjoy the classes. We had a great time last month with Chris's palmistry class. Wonderful folks came to that. We're looking forward to this one. It is a 4-part series he teaches that you can jump into at any time. So you can start with any one of them, but there's 4 of them in total. So come and enjoy. Let's see, anything else? Of course, on Saturdays for the rest of the month, we'll have the standing stones coming in. And the standing stones should be covering, what are they covering? April, sacred sexuality and sacred nudity will be coming up on Saturday. Ooh la la. And then what happens after sacred sexuality? Children and families. So the following Saturdays, paganism, children and families. And then the last Saturday of the month, they're going to start their divination series. That's a 3-parter. The first one deals with divination ethics and tarot, but later on next month, they'll be getting into astrology, runes, numerology, pendulums. So there'll be plenty of room to play and learn and grow in those classes. This is a class series that's completely free and you can step in at any time. You don't have to have attended any other classes. And they're fun, and the people who lead it they really are doing an outstanding job. They get rave reviews. One of our tarot readers has been to their classes and absolutely adores them. That's Ravenwolf, just loves them. We'll be having the Reiki share on the last Sunday rather, of this month at noon. That one's always fun. And of course, Reiki 1 will be at noon on the 20th. So if you're ready to start your Reiki, practice, come down, we'll get you that Reiki 1. Takes a few hours to run through the class materials, and then each attunement is done one-on-one. So the length of class depends entirely on, is it 2 people? Is it 20 people? If it's 20 people, I'm staying late. If it's 2 people, we're going to be done by 3 or 3:30, maybe 4, because after the attunements, of course, we get to practice and start to play with those energies, which is so much fun. I love that part of the class. So I want to let you guys know about 2 other bits and pieces. And then, no staff today so far. Poor Liz, not this Liz, the other Liz, is not feeling well today, so she will not be in at any time today. So, but I will be here. I got here about 9. I ran some errands, but started working about 9, and I'll be here until probably 8 or 9 tonight because I'll be teaching the Year 2 Herbalism program tonight. We will be having a lot of fun with Materia Medica, where we get to taste the herbs and talk about what each of them is really meant for, who it's meant for, what they're good at, all that kind of information. That's tonight. If you're interested in the herbal program, it runs from September through May. We'll be letting people sign up for Year 1, which will meet on Tuesday nights from, again, September till May. Those registrations, they start in April. We encourage you to sign up early if you can, especially if you need a payment plan, because we'll be happy to split your payment out over 3 months, but the final payment will be due at your first class. And that one is coming up soon. The other one that I need to mention is our fabulous readers. We had to say farewell to poor Kenneth. Having finally succeeded and gotten a great job, he is off and running in that world, so he can't really stop in on the random afternoon to do readings. But now we have the really talented and wonderful Megan. She is coming in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and she'll be covering the latter part of Saturday afternoons. So there will be a reader here pretty much the whole day on Saturday. Ravenwolf will be here at noon, from noon until at least 2 p.m. And then Megan will pick up at 3, and she'll carry on until we close up. If you're coming in today, Wednesday, it'll be Megan. She'll be here soon, as well as tomorrow. Friday, Ravenwolf is here from 1 until 4. Saturday, Ravenwolf again from noon till 2, and then Megan from 3 to 6. And on Sunday, we have the illustrious Doc Murphy. She's here from 1 to 6. And Morpheus is here on Mondays from 2 to 6. And Ravenwolf from noon to 3 on Tuesdays. It was great chatting with Ravenwolf yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Megan today. So those are our readers. I sincerely wish I had more for you, but need to get ready to open the store, and sadly, no one's coming in, so I gotta make sure I got my lunch out there. I hope we all see you soon here at the shop or online at magisbooks.com. But in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Check out all the shorts and all the short length, the 5-minuters that we do. Thank you so much for the likes, the subscribes, the comments, the highs. I see you out there. And hopefully you have a wonderful week. Blessed be.